There are some huge reveals in the Andor trailer that dropped just yesterday. We're going to talk about them here on the channel. I think this second trailer nails exactly what Andor is, the tone, the tension. And honestly, if there's one thing that I would say that describes this entire minute and 22 seconds is just tension. Let's take a look.
I came with you to be part of something. The Empire cannot win.
It's Brasso.
It's a different kind of mission.
I think Mon Mothma in the Senate's going to be a huge part of this show.
If it goes up in flames, it will burn.
That's a big line.
Rightly.
That's a big line.
But if I'm giving up everything, I want to win. We have to. We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is
Oh, Krennic. Krennic's here.
They're building a weapon.
And there's the Death Star. Oh boy.
The monster will come for us all.
Revolution is not for the same. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
There's a future here for those who dare. Welcome to the rebellion.
Oh man. Okay. Just right off the bat, I think that just the one-liners they're giving us tell us so much about the story, so much about what's going on, particularly in talking about Luthen. We'll get to that in a moment, but I think they nailed it completely with this entire feel for this trailer. This is kind of one of those iconic scenes we're now seeing in Andor all the time, this behind the main character or one of the main characters just looking through a hallway as Cassian's going. And when we walk through this trailer, we see a lot is going on. I think the Gorman massacre, as Tony Gilroy has already said, is part of this. And I think we got a clue as to Luthen's perspective and maybe who's actually behind all of it, knowing that this is maybe more of a bait than anything else. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we get all of these interesting scenes. I am really intrigued by how they're going to handle Cyril Karn and Deidre. The way that they're being portrayed in this trailer, we're not given much, but there's one picture particularly with her. Where is it? It's right here. Right here. I'm really interested to know, is this like, does she mess up? Is she kind of the one who takes Luthen's bait for the whole thing, and then she recognizes, wow, we just slaughtered all of these civilians? I don't know. I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. But there's definitely some lines like this from Cassian. He's at the point where now he's all in. The Empire cannot win. He's already got this kind of stolen flight suit. This is them probably trying to steal that TIE Avenger. I know previously I said Defender Light because I thought it was on Lothal, but it's definitely a TIE Avenger. And I think that we get a hint here how the show is going to start. I actually think we're going to start almost peaceful, almost nice and fun. And we kind of get this perspective that all of those on Ferrix who got away from the riots escaped and started this like little farming colony. And this is maybe where they start. We know that one of the major themes of Andor is what does it look like for the everyday ordinary person to get pulled into this rebellion, get to pulled into all of this fighting. Not everyone wakes up and is ready to be a soldier. So how does that happen? Well, it happens like you escape with your friends and you're having a good time and you feel safe and calm where you are. And then all of a sudden, the Empire shows up. I think this is going to be our first arc. And I think our first arc is going to culminate with Cassian, like we see here at the very end. Where is it? Or it was in the first trailer. It's not in this trailer. But after he steals this TIE Avenger, if you remember from the first trailer, he was shooting a transport back on that farming planet. And I think it's him going to be rescuing Bix and Brasso and all of them. And I have a feeling not everyone makes it out from that. And we kind of are left in that first few episodes of that kind of being this opening to the story with some twists and some turns. All along, we know that Luthen, and it's this line that Luthen says to Cassian. I want to play it again because I think it's really important to understand. We know that Luthen said to Mon Mothma last season that there are no rules, that the Aldhani heist and the coming back against all of that stuff by the Empire, like the rules are off. This is war. Well, they have to build an army. They have to get everyone on their side. They have to make this more than just a few heists here or there. And when Luthen says this,
If it goes up in flames,
It will burn very brightly.
like, I really think what he's doing is this idea of like what burns brightly, a beacon, a lighthouse. It's going to be the thing that draws people in. The moment when people turn against the Empire. It's the moment that leads Mon Mothma to her speech in the Senate. We see a bit of that where she's calling out the Emperor. Where is that? Right here. She's calling out the Emperor. The monster will come for us all. And we know from canon and some of what we've already seen, and even from lore, that this Gorman massacre is what tips her off and pushes her over the edge and makes her have to flee the Senate and leave, and ends up becoming the head, kind of the leader of the rebellion. And that makes me think that Luthen, in some ways, while I think he could be seen as the villain, I have a really interesting theory about what's going to happen to Luthen in this show. I'm going to share that in another video. So if you want to hear that, make sure you subscribe for that, because I think we all agree Luthen isn't going to make it, but I have a theory. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a moment. But again, I just think the tension in this entire trailer was so on point. But I want to make one thing very clear. If you have not yet watched season 1, first off, do that. Second, if you're coming to this show expecting everything to be this explosive moment, you're going to be disappointed. Andor season 2 will disappoint you, because what Tony Gilroy does instead is he sets everything up meticulously, like putting together a house of cards. He takes his time putting the pieces everywhere they need to go so everything works, and that tension and that worry and that concern builds and builds and builds, and then you have the explosive event. And I think what we're going to see is in the first arc, that's kind of this Cassian breaking out with this TIE fighter to save his friends. I think the second middle arc is probably going to be this Gorman massacre as everyone's now being pulled into it. I think the third arc is going to be more dealing with Mon Mothma, maybe, and then finally kind of coming to a head underneath all of it, but exploding at the end, is this realization that there is a weapon that is something that can take out and kind of turn the tide and squash this rebellion. And so they have to act fast. That's just my quick take on where I think this is going. And if you want to see more about Andor Season 2, make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Remember, the Force will be with you always.